For the delay that we have had, because we have had 2 meetings with government leadership, and those meetings went a little further than originally planned, and they were very productive, and I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to members of local NGOs, international NGOs, UN colleagues for the work we do together, and I'm sure if there will be questions, they will answer. In the meetings I have had this morning with the Vice President and his members of the Cabinet, and with the Ministry of Planning, the Vice Minister of Planning, and the discussions we had yesterday with our colleagues from the NGO community and UN colleagues, there is one collective position in the analysis on where Somaliland populations are in terms of the drought situation still being very severe. It is that it is like the population is crossing a river and they are only halfway in the middle of the river. They are very far away from getting to the other side. And therefore, their conclusion is we still need to work together. We still need to respond to humanitarian needs. We still need to speak together in one voice, and we still need to work together in supporting the government of Somaliland in the priorities they have in responding to the humanitarian needs of the people. This is something that we all agreed is the situation of the people. We also had a common understanding and a common mind on agreeing that the good rains were inadequate. While it was almost near normal in a few places, in most of the places, the rainfall was not good, came late, finished early, and we are fearful that the recovery of livestock, the recovery of grass, the recovery of livelihoods will not be adequate before the end of the year. So this is important. I want to say that from around January, February, March, April, May, June, and up to July now, we have continued to provide humanitarian assistance collectively. In Somaliland, up to 800,000 people, for example, are receiving cash transfers. This is huge. Another 500,000 are receiving all forms of humanitarian assistance and different forms of support. This is also important. However, going forward now, we need, and this is also the understanding of the government, we need to continue staying strong in providing life-saving assistance, but also ensure that we include resilience, we include early recovery, so that we begin supporting families to stand on their feet. As a result, the understanding is that we need to redouble our energies, our donor support requests to do this. We will continue working together. For example, those families that are in internal displacement and would like to go home, they will need to be supported to return in dignity. They need to be enabled to voluntarily choose to go back home to their areas of traditional habitation. For that to happen, there is need for support for them to have the capacity and the opportunity to do that. I want to thank you. I do not want to say a lot, just to say that we are in this all together. And I want to thank my colleagues from the UN, the local NGOs, international NGOs. They will be able to support in answering any questions you may have. If I am unable to answer them, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vincent. His name is Vincent Lelei.
Yeah.
You got the name already, right? Cool. Let's take it up from there.
My name is Nuruddin. I'm from South TV. So I have 2 questions. drought situation in Somaliland has been a great concern since 2015. With rising numbers of displacement, disease outbreak, livestock waste, malnutrition, and food insecurity. So could you tell us your total assistance in cash, and how do you provide it?
How do we?
How did you provide it?
Okay. Yeah, you answer. You want to answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
In 2015 November through 2016, the Somaliland government made a special appeal because there was a projection that the situation will get worse, and indeed that analysis was correct. 2016 was not good through 2017, and United Nations led in the production of the humanitarian appeal for 2017, which asked originally for 970 million and has since increased that ask to $1.5 billion, and that is for both Somaliland, Puntland, and South Central. Out of that ask of 1.5 billion, all humanitarians working together have received more than $800 million. Again, for Somaliland, Puntland, South Central, everywhere, all 18 regions that we know of. I know very well, in fact, that there has been a question asked over and over again when I have come to Hargeisa, that what portion of that came to Somaliland. This is something that we do not usually do in our humanitarian analysis, assessments, and response, because when we do vaccinations, we don't stop at one border and then assess how much it has cost. When we do cholera AWD, we do not specifically do that. When we do cash transfer, we don't stop at one border and then assess how much it has cost up to there. As a result, I am unable to give you administrative asks as it were. Secondly, humanitarian principles do not allow us to do that. The whole area of neutrality do not allow us to do that. We would like to support people who are in exceptional need where they are and when they need that assistance, irrespective of who they are and where they are sitting. And that is the basis of the humanitarian ask in the response plan. I would like to say that we are very grateful to donors, and the first donors are actually Somaliland people themselves, helping their own people themselves. My thanks go to them first. The second one is international donors that have been assisting. Last night, for example, we met with a group from Salman Foundation that were doing their own assessments, working with many humanitarians that are operating here. I know, for example, IOM and UNHCR are working with them. And the work they do together has enabled a lot of assistance and protection to reach the people. Thank you.
My next question. Somaliland drought-affected people are in need for recovery.
What?
Recovery. So what's your assistance plan to those people?
Most of the drought.
Okay, so you can handle this.
Yeah. Can we take two questions or more, or
Yeah,
one
let
at
me
a
take someone
time?
else. Yes.
My name is Abdullah, and I'm from Southern East Lebanon. So the question is, and as you say, and since yesterday, a top official of Somaliland, like Vice President, as you said. So since you are in Somaliland to talk about the drugs affected, and as we know, there is a 80% of Somaliland livestock who have gone unaffected by the drugs. So, what's the specific meaning or the human or the UN aid that you are now telling to the Somaliland people?
Good. Next, another question?
Yeah.
Yes, boss.
My question is, according to a Guardian newspaper, Somaliland Foreign Minister has told that international response to the Somaliland protests, including the union, is very low. And this direct code is the assistance, the military assistance to the union is very slow and bureaucratic. There is no lack of will, but often takes months for aid to reach the country for those who is in need, as due to money levels and channels. So, what do you say with that?
Can we take those three? And actually, I understand from the TV and the newspaper, they are two separate questions, but you will agree with me they are related. They are related in the sense that, and I said it a little earlier, we are talking about life-saving as a top immediate action, but we know if we don't support the protection of the livestock that are the main livelihood of the people will suffer even more. And so FAO, working with many other partners, have ensured that there is response activities on livestock. There has been priorities on agriculture also. I would agree that all these are inadequate. However, going forward, this will become a real strategic focus, both for humanitarians, and my understanding is that this is already a top priority for the government of Somaliland. I was told by the Ministry of Planning that on 29th, they are launching the National Development Plan that will look a lot into resilience and early recovery and support to the most vulnerable households to move out of absolute poverty. And this is extremely important. As a result, I would say we are working together actually, both under the leadership of the government and all of us as humanitarians in ensuring that livelihoods are protected, livestock in particular is protected. I want to go to that question. I have actually read the article from The Guardian. If one child has died from drought, if one woman has suffered so much from food insecurity, if one old man has not been reached, even if our target in Somaliland was 800,000, that one person, that one mother, that one child that has lost their life is already too late. As a result, I would not have the moral conscience to deny that article, but I must say that together we have worked collectively in providing assistance and protection to those who need as quickly as we could as humanitarians working with the government of Somaliland. We have done the same in all the other parts of Somalia. And the commitment to provide assistance in a timely way to those who are most in need, based on humanitarian principles, continues to be a top priority. And this was my statement to the Vice President, that we will work together. But I fully agree with you, and I hope there will be no clip cutting. The message is we have lost the dignity of a number of people And even if there are only 5, that is unfortunate.
My question, you did not answer my question. What is your assistance plan for the drug recovery?
Restocking.
And also stock.
Okay. When we discussed this morning, and by the way, I'm always uncomfortable saying what is our plan, because we work in support of the sovereignty and the accountability of the leadership of Somaliland. And that's why I talked about the National Development Plan. There are very, very many good ideas. We have to discuss with them, including, if 60% of the livestock perished, what must be done to ensure that those livestock are restocked so that livelihoods can be recovered, so that they can be able to sell the livestock back again to Middle East. What could be done to enable families to have opportunities of managing their lives again? This takes so many forms, but supporting the traditional livelihood patterns of Somaliland will be our priority, working together within the framework of the development plan. However, my focus is on humanitarian response now, because we still have very many people who need to be assisted to survive right now.
Okay, next question. Yes, sir.
Before I pose my question, Mr. Lelei, my name is Yusuf, I'm from Somaliland. I just want to clarify something from one of my colleagues here about the amount of money that has been apportioned in Somaliland. You say the principle, you don't do this. But maybe if, hypothetically speaking, if we want to know how much aid has been given Ethiopia, Kenya, South Sudan, we can find it. If we want to know what aid has been given Somalia, we can find it. And just again to clarify, you spoke about 18 regions, which I believe includes Somaliland as a region of Somalia. So in Somaliland, we know that especially the United Nations, because people like the UN, when UK and some other few countries, when they give aid, humanitarian or development, they normally say this year goes to Somaliland. I can get for the whole of the UK the amount of money they have contributed, how much has been apportioned to Somalia, and how much has gone to Somaliland, apart from the UN. So this is not a principle, it is political. Because we are in your 18 regions, the ones you mentioned yourself. Just a clarification it was.
Okay.
Now, we talk about IDPs. The UN, again, we know, does not recognize Somaliland as a country of its own. So, people who come from Somalia, South, the one we call South Central, who come here, they are considered not as refugees, but as IDPs. And then we have our own internally, the ones who come from the west, from the east, running to the west. So when you are doing this rehabilitation part, do you put this in consideration, the amount of money that was supposed to be used in Somaliland? Do you also use it for the ones that are going back to Puntland and to Somalia?
I would like to answer your question partially, because the political side is the part I'm not qualified to answer. I did not do political science. I did humanitarian work and humanitarian analysis and response, and my message was people are assisted on the basis of need, where they are and when they are in that situation. It doesn't matter from which point they have come to which point. Some of the people have crossed the border actually, as I understood it, for example, from Ethiopia into Somaliland. We have not asked for their identity, where they went to. We have only worked with humanitarians at operational levels in providing assistance to those people without asking whether they were people from Somaliland or from Ethiopia. So the principle still holds, that we provide assistance on the basis of need and need alone. And I gave a consolidated figure that we've gotten from donors with gratitude, in fact, way beyond 800 million, which have gone to sectors like water and sanitation, health, nutrition, shelter, protection, education, name it. All those sectors are what have provided the services that have eased the pain of the people. And we will continue doing it that way. However, when Somaliland discusses their National Development Plan on 29th, they will be able to do it within the framework of their planning, the way they understand it, and the way we will then support them. That is a different conversation.
Thank you.
Mr. Lelei, just one question. Do we have one appeal, humanitarian appeal, that has been made for both Somalia and Somaliland?
Yes, sir.
That has been,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And
Thank
it is public document, sir.
Let me go to someone new.
The new ones.
Last question.
Oh, last.
Last question.
You launched a drought operation center in Europe.
What is that?
Yeah. I got it. DOCC, yes. Yeah.
A drought operation center in Europe.
Yes.
On March 13th. But it's still not in Somalia. Why didn't you open another one here in Somalia?
That's a very good question.
He's the father of Joseph.
The original idea in launching the operation center, and we did it in 4 places. We did it in Mogadishu, in Baidoa, in Garowe, 3 places. The reason why we did that was to bring humanitarian organizations together at technical level, for them to do the analysis together, to go out and do assessments together, and to plan prioritization on what to be done together. In those 3 places, the government at that level is not strong enough to be yet an effective partner. In Somaliland, we have a strong partnership with line ministries. We have a strong partnership with NERA. And so for Somaliland, we agreed that the same concept will be adapted in such a way that we will not set up a drought operating center outside the government mainstream system. We will do it inside NERAD. And so if you go to NERAD now, we have a center where we sit together and discuss and prioritize. What that means is that actually we acknowledged the steps that Somaliland has taken in their own capacity internally.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
As you know, UN is not a donor entity, but you get donations from the donor and the international community. So there is any decline from the donor community, international community, according to 2017, comparison with 2016, 2015, there is a decline. If yes, what causes that decline?
Decline in what?
Decline of
Reduction in
Decline in what? In funding?
yes, funding from the donor community.
Oh, no.
There is any appeal.
Is the question the trends of humanitarian response and levels of funding over the last few years? That is the question. Actually, and thanks for the question. Actually, Somaliland and Somalia as a whole has received very, very significant support from donors in the last 5 years. During the tragic years of 2011-12 famine up to $1.5 billion was raised. If you go to the internet, you will see a lot of financial support to Somalia. The decline in funding in the subsequent years was because the level of need, humanitarian need, went down. Again, when the level of humanitarian need and the fear of famine in 2017, growing out of 2016 analysis came up, donors stepped up very, very aggressively. And in less than 4 months, they raised 700 million. It has not happened anywhere else in any other country. This region has received the most generous consideration from donors. I would urge you to look at the other countries that are in a situation of near famine conditions. I don't want to name them. You know them. You go and look at what solidarity they have received compared to what Somaliland and Somalia has.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll take one last question. Then we, yeah.
Yeah. Final one.
Let me take the last question. My name is Vincent from Somali TV, Somali TV, and my question is short. Which place your office gets, I think, let me take, which place do you get a resource to these affected places in Somaliland? And routes, something like that.
Which places?
Or something like a government, political parties, or other
Can you ask in Somali language?
In Somali,
Let me ask in Somali language so that you interpret.
what is the source of your funding, the native donor?
Oh, okay, yeah. No, thanks for the question, sir. We have about 12 member states, 12 governments contribute the largest amount of money. Many of them are from Europe and United States, but we also have from the Middle East, the OIC countries, and others. We receive also assistance from a country like Turkey, who is a friend of Somalia and Somaliland. We receive a lot of support from, like I said, also local people here, local businesses here. I must acknowledge that because this is so important. It is always arriving fast and it goes into the right place very early. We have companies that have provided a lot of support, international companies. As a result, the solidarity is very strong on issues of humanity. Thank you. I think that was the last.
How do you find, of course, we are very happy you are with us here, but how do you find you are staying between, you have been to Gero, you have been to Mogadishu, you are in Hargeisa? Tuambie kidogo, what's the difference? How we are socially and all that. Let's forget about humanitarian.
Where are my classes?
He wants to see you properly.
When I arrived yesterday at Hargeisa Airport, I saw the paper before immigration on the vision and mission of Somaliland. And it gave a number of critical attributes: integrity, social cohesion, togetherness. I wanted to read them. And I was so happy. I stood there looking at it with so much gratitude. And I said, it is very possible these are what have kept Somaliland calm. And I look forward to it spreading to many other places.
Thank you for coming.
Well done.